Hi, this is Tara and welcome to my home. I thought it would be really nice to do a video on self-massage. I know that most people are suffering from some aches and pains, so this is a really great way that you can just deal with those aches and pains yourself without needing anyone else. It will save you a lot of money, and also you can do it whenever you feel that you need to. For this class, you will need just a few bits of equipment, really easy, that you can find in your home. Like a rolling pin is really good. If you have a foam roller, then you can use that. But if you don't, a rolling pin or a thick stick like this would do the job. A tennis ball or a massage ball, or any kind of hard but at the same time softish ball, not too hard, that you could use. A yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, don't worry. You can grab some books, and if they're books that you like to read when you're nice and relaxed after this, then you can enjoy reading your book. And a towel. It doesn't have to be a big towel, but a reasonably long towel. And a cushion or pillow, and I'm sure you have one of those in your house. So that's all you need. And I think those bits of equipment are really easy to find. So if you don't have them, go and grab them now, pause the video and get those things ready. So let's think about our muscles and what causes them to be so tight and uncomfortable. So in your muscle fibers, you have what's called sarcomeres, and those sarcomeres are what cause the muscle fibers to lock together and lift up when you want to make a contraction of your muscle. So every time you contract your muscle, millions of sarcomeres are firing up, locking together and lifting to cause a contraction. Sometimes, because we exercise a lot or because we hold ourselves in positions like perhaps you're at the computer or your phone all the time, these sarcomeres end up being constantly contracted, and then they can't release. And that's what gives us the knots and the discomfort. Now, when you have a few of these knots going on, then you start to have a lack of oxygen in the area, you start to have a lack of blood flow, and then nutrients can't go to the area and also heal the muscles. And then this can begin to cause a difficulty in the range of movement of the joints because the muscles are stiff. And then when your movement of your joints is restricted, then this will cause postural problems. So for example, if you are sat at your desk all the time and then you have tightness there, then you start to have a restriction how your arm moves, and then you start to get this lifted shoulders, uncomfortable posture, and then you get problems with other parts of your body. So it's really important to release your muscles and to give them a stretch and a massage work. Okay, so the best way you can do that is through compression and stretching and rolling. So today we're going to work on those different techniques, and I hope you enjoy it. I've got some candles on, I've put some incense on, so you do whatever you need to make yourself comfortable in your home. All right, so we're going to start with the feet. Okay, so grab your ball, and you can be sat down, or if you want more pressure, you can stand. You're just going to take that ball underneath your foot. Be comfortable with your arms so you can support yourself. My rolling pin's rolling away. And then just roll that ball through the arch of the foot. So you're just feeling the release, and then you often find tight points that you didn't even know that you had. Make sure you start to work through the whole of the foot, through the heel, the outside, and at the front through the toes. If that's not enough pressure for you and you want to go deeper, of course you can stand up, so that gives you a lot more release when you stand if your feet are really tight. And this is also great if you have plantar fasciitis or any other pain in the muscles in the foot, so it's just really good for releasing. And then change over, so let's change over to the other foot. And just enjoy giving yourself self-care. Give yourself the time to look after yourself. and you'll feel really good afterwards, really loose, relaxed, clearer thinking. So when you find a tight point, you can hold the ball on that and press down for 7 seconds, and then just release and roll out. And you can keep repeating that as much as you need. So release that ball and then grab hold of your towel. And a really simple way of just stretching the muscles in your feet and the fascia is just to pull the towel. So you'll see here, I'm just curling the toes back, and then this stretch, you're putting on the toes back towards you. You feel a stretch through the back of the leg, through the foot. So you can just do that to release. And then change over to the other side. So just bringing those toes back, feeling that lengthening, especially through the soleus, gastrocnemius, and the bottom of the foot. And release. And then grab hold of your rolling pin. Mine's rolled off here. Okay, so take that rolling pin and let's start on the calf and just start to roll through. So it just takes a bit to get used to the action. And the great thing about massaging yourself is that you're in control of the pressure. So many times I had a massage and I was really disappointed at how light they were, or that they didn't stay long enough in the tight areas. So when you do it yourself, you can decide how long you stay somewhere. Now often when I give massages myself to other people, people always want me to focus on the back and shoulders and neck, and they don't realize how tight their legs are. So I'm sure you'll find that your calves are tighter than you realize. And make sure you move with the full range of the muscles there, from bottom to top, and on the outside as well. A little bit on the front of the side here. Just be careful that you're not going too hard on the joints or the bones. Just keep it on the muscle belly. And change over, so make sure you do both legs evenly, and just become really aware if you have one side tighter than the other. My left side feels a lot tighter than my right, and then ask yourself questions. Why is that? Are you standing in a certain way? Are you sitting in a certain way? Sometimes we hold ourselves in bad postures, so again making sure you do the whole of the leg. And you can press as hard as you like. I'm going quite hard here. And again, just a little bit on the top, on the edge. Okay, moving up to the top part of your legs, so your quads. So just rolling into there. Now my quads are very sensitive. I do a lot of working out and they get really tight. So this feels great. And your quad muscles, they're attached to your patella. So releasing and helping these muscles to get rid of tension can actually also help with discomfort in the knee. And also, as one of your quads is a hip flexor, it can help with your pelvis as well. So if you suffer from lordosis, it's great to release your quads. So just rolling out. Make sure you're doing on the outside. And then coming on the other leg. Finding all the tight places, and wow, you really find them. This is like a deep tissue massage that you can do yourself. Now another way you can do this, and it's more intense, is if you come onto your front and you just bring that rolling pin and you balance yourself comfortably on your mat. Make sure you're not on the floor. Okay, and you're just gonna roll through like this. So you're putting all your weight onto that rolling pin and just moving around. And it can be really, really strong. So if this is too intense, then come back to seated. And make sure you change over. If you have a foam roller, obviously it's got little spikes in, so this would be even more intense. And you can come onto your side. So it's all the outside of my thighs here. Tensor fascia latae, muscle, woo. Okay. And of course, you can come rolling onto your back, bring your hands on the floor and work into the hamstrings. Although this is a little bit harder, you would probably need a bigger foam roller for this one. You can get a little bit of release there on both sides. Or of course, you can use your ball. So you can lie and roll on your ball. But I personally find on the legs, I find the length of the rolling pin much easier to work with. Then let's work into our glutes and our piriformis. So I like to use the ball for this, it goes really deep. So you just have your feet on the mat and lift up your hips and sit on the ball. And it doesn't take long before you probably find quite a tender point right in the center. That is your piriformis. And it's a deep hip rotator. And sometimes if you have that shooting pain down your leg, it can be because you have a tight piriformis. But make sure that you know that it is your piriformis and not a herniated disc that's giving you that pain. So it's rolling onto that ball. And again, if you find a tight spot, just sit deeply onto that ball, put your weight, 7 seconds, and then just roll it out. And when you're ready again, you can go 7 seconds, and then just press and roll it out. It should feel really good. Change it over to the other side. So sitting on your ball, and then just finding that sweet spot, and sitting on it when you do, letting your breath relax, and then just rolling it out. And again, this is great because when you do it yourself, I find that you can go really deep because you know what you're feeling. When someone gives you a massage, they aren't able to feel what you feel. So you know where your pain is. And with this ball, you can get really deep. You can really do some deep work. And it feels fantastic. Okay, so just release that. Now going into the back, I love to do some restorative stretches for the back. They can be really releasing. So you can grab your block or your books. So if you have your books, I'll do it with the books, you can wrap a towel around your books if you don't have a block to keep them closer together so they don't start to fall apart. Okay, so that makes your blocks a bit better. You will need a few to keep them stable. Okay, and then you can just take your block or your books, okay, and have it on the lower sitting or the higher sitting, however you feel with your back. So just come to a lying position, lift up your hips and take the block underneath your sacrum. So I've got it on the highest setting there, okay, and just melt yourself over the block. And it really stretches and releases the lumbar spine. Now you can have your knees bent. You can also experiment by taking the legs stretched out. And I find this makes the stretch even stronger and even more wonderful. So you just be here relaxing with deep breaths for as long as you need to. And the great thing about these postures, these restorative yoga postures, is that they are stretching you without you doing any work. So you can really let go and feel the benefits of this stretch. Now I find this very releasing for the lower back and very calming. Just let yourself melt over that block and stay there as long as you need to. Releasing that block, I'm going to take it away. It feels amazing already. And then grab hold of your ball. Now you can use one ball or two balls. I'm just got the one, so I'm going to show you with the one ball. And you can just lie and place this ball on the side of your spine and start to feel where you've got tightness in the lower back, QL, and of course your rectus spinae. So you can just take it up. The spine is roll a little side to side, up and down, and just see where you feel tight. And then you can lie and just make some more pressure where you feel that tight space. And remember to do this on both sides, so just rolling and finding that release. And I find this actually much easier against a wall. So you can go against a wall, and oops, there goes my rolling pin. So you can go against a wall, take a seat, and then you can just roll up and down. You can control it by how much you're bending your knees. And this is also a really great way to get deep into your muscles. Just rolling up and down and moving around. So either lying or seated. Let's work into the trapezius, the shoulder area. So you can take your ball, and again you can do it against the wall, which is lovely. Also lying down, so you can just take the ball into the muscle bit, so make sure it's not on the shoulder blade. You just want it in the fleshy part where you feel the muscles, and just press down. Remember, you can do this with a ball on the other side, and just start to move your arm in circles, and you can really feel the pressure of the ball and just releasing into the shoulders and trapezius. So just change direction of your circle, just enjoying that movement. Oops, I'm knocking everything over here. And you can just experiment with how you feel. Let's do on the other side. So just taking that ball, and there we go, just moving around. And I really notice when I do this how crunchy my shoulders are. So just these big circles. But it's so releasing and really deep work. And again, you can roll a little bit on the areas that you find really tense and tight. And I could be here for hours just releasing into my shoulders, because that's where I'm so tight. Anyway, come to a seated position and grab hold of your block or your books. So I'm going to show you with the books. I've got my house plant book here. I love plants, as you can see in the background. So I've got two books, and you can either place your towel on top. I'm going to use a pillow. And this is really nice for stretching and opening into your chest. Now, because we spend a lot of our time on phones and computers, we're always in this position, and the upper back gets very weak, and then the front of the body gets very tight, and we don't even realize how tight we are across the pecs. And then also being in this position makes our breathing really shallow and small, and then we can't breathe here, so we end up breathing from our belly, which gives us a belly that's descending. So think about just opening up and stretching here, opening your diaphragm, your pecs, your intercostal muscles. So have the pillow on your books, bring your feet together, and you can just lean back and open up the chest and have your hands down by your sides. Now, if your neck feels like it's unsupported, you can take some books behind you or a block. I'm going to use this block actually, and you can take it behind your head to support your head as well, so you're a bit more comfortable there. And just opening up the shoulders and the pecs, and just again lying here as long as you need to feel that release. And I can already feel that my rib cage and my diaphragm and my lungs are really benefiting from this. I'm just able to breathe a lot easier. So big breaths in and out. And don't feel like you have to stay, just in that one position. Have a play around. So you might find if you move up a little bit, that gives you even more of a stretch. So just have a wiggle around, see what you enjoy. Just make sure that you've always got some support there for your head behind. Okay, so there we go. So coming up, and let's think about the neck and the face. So a lot of people get very tight shoulders, levator scapula is getting very tense. So it's really great to stretch out your neck with a towel. So you can take that towel across your head and just gently pull on the towel. So you're lengthening all the way through the side here, through the sternocleidomastoid, and also stretching into your levator scapula. And you can just play around with your arm to see what gives you the best position for the deepest stretch. And then you can take the chin towards the shoulder, and that increases the stretch. Let's take that forwards, so lengthening through the back of the neck, looking down, chin towards your chest, and again gently pulling on the towel. As you exhale, get a bit deeper in that stretch, and then change over to the other side. See, I'm giving myself a very funny hairstyle here. My very perfect YouTube videos. So again, just feeling that lengthening, use your arm to find that really juicy, delicious stretch. And then bring your chin towards your shoulder. It just feels so good. And if you need to, you can just add in a bit of self-massage, if that feels good. Putting some pressure on the tight areas. And bring yourself back and release that towel. All right, so let's work now into the face, and an area where we have a lot of tightness is the jaw, and you've got a lot of trigger points here. So your trigger points are areas of tight muscles that the pain travels. So you can press here and you feel it in your head, or you can press here and you feel it in your head. So you can have knots that aren't trigger points, but you could always with trigger points and trigger points. So if you just press into your jaw and feel some tender points, and then again just put some pressure till it releases, and then just circle the movement, let it go. And this can be a tense area if you grind your teeth, or it can help stop you grinding your teeth. Just relaxing that jaw. And then moving to in between your eyebrows, this is your corrugator muscle. And it feels great if you press on this area. I like to just rub on this area a little bit. This is also thought to stimulate your vagus nerve, which runs from your head all the way down into your gut. So this is all about your brain-gut connection. And actually, when you stimulate this area, it can actually help to relax your whole nervous system. So it's great to just rub here, or you can squeeze. I like to pinch a little bit and just lift up, do some pinching. Find it really relaxing, and I'm sure it's also really good for anti-aging. So getting rid of that stress, that frown in between the eyebrows. And then you can take and just pinch here through the eyebrows. And then taking your hands to your temples, your fingers to your temples rather, and just pressing here now. From your temples up, there's usually some quite tender points here, again, trigger points. So don't forget about your hair, just find those tender points, press on them and release. So all this you can do yourself, and it feels really good. So I can find some very tight spaces there. And release. I really hope that's given you some ideas for self-massage and that you feel relaxed and relieved. Please subscribe to my videos, and I really hope that I'll be seeing you again soon.